What's up, guys? This is going to be the full card breakdown for UFC 248. It's coming up this Saturday, 6:30 start time for the early prelims. Two title fights on this card. Both of them are pretty interesting, and some good matchmaking. So I'm really looking forward to this card. There are some bets as well, and some picks that I think people are going to find pretty interesting. A couple fights that I'm still on the fence about. I'm probably going to tack those on with the first play video that I'm going to put out over the next couple days. Either that or I'll update the description, but it'll be here well in advance of the fights. But I wanted to get this out now because of the bets. So first fight of the night, there is a bet, Emily Whitmire and Viana. I put a bet on Polyana. Now, she hasn't looked great in the UFC. She caught a rough break being submitted in one of her recent fights, but I do think the way that unfolded, there was a little bit of luck to that getting cinched up. So, I think in this fight, watching tape, she's the better fighter. Emily Whitmire, if we see the best version of her, she does have a path to victory, no doubt. But I like Viana in this spot, and like I said, there is a bet. I'm going to take her by submission in the second round. Next, we got Guido Canetti and Dana Batgarel, sorry. I look at this fight, and, I wonder when UFC cuts so many guys that people don't think should be cut, how these two managed to be on the roster. I mean, Dana, I guess, they plan on going into that territory and want to have some hometown fighters, so they want to build him up. But, wasn't overly impressed with his first performance, was looking to counter, didn't throw a whole lot. Canetti's going to make him fight, though, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. With him being 40, the smaller guys, speed is an issue when age plays a factor, age, kicks in. So it's going to be, interesting. But I'm going to take Canetti. I think maybe he can muscle Batgarel. And like I said, wasn't overly impressed with Batgarel, but we'll see how it goes here. We didn't see a whole lot from him. I'm going to take Canetti by decision. Not interested in a bet. Not really one of the fights that I'm looking forward to. Next up, we got Deron Winn and Gerald Mirscharf. This is one of the more interesting fights on the card just because of the styles. We got a guy that's 6'1", taking on, a guy that's 5'6", and I think there's probably at least 6 or 7 inches reach advantage for Mirscharf as well. Thing is, though, Deron Winn, in his last fight, I thought he won, and it was pretty clear that he did, to a lot of people, just from the takedowns and the top control. I think majority of people, if you look at the scorecards from the media, I think a lot of them had it going for Win as well. So, as far as I'm concerned, he's still undefeated. I remember DC. I think DC must have had a bet on him because, not only is he, a part of the team and somebody that he trains with, but DC was really upset when that decision got read out. So, I think Deron might be able to catch him. If it gets into the, midpoint of the fight, so midway through the second round, if Wynn's starting to look like he's breathing heavy, I think that it's going to be, a decent live bet situation. I thought about, putting in a bet on Wynn at 1.72, but still, I'm not confident enough with those numbers. So I'm going to keep an eye on the line. I'm going to take Deron Winn to get it done by TKO in the first round. But, I have bet on Mirscharf before. I think he's a good fighter. I thought he got robbed in his last fight against Eric Anders, and I had a bet on him in that fight. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him cinch up a submission, but I'm going to take Deron Winn to get it done by TKO. Next up, we got Jose Quinonez and Sean O'Malley. The line's way off on this. Maybe a small shot. Sean O'Malley is really good on the feet. He's a big guy for the division. I think he should probably be able to get it done. But with 2 years off, all the shit with USADA, I don't know. I'm not, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go with Jose Quinonez. Sean O'Malley is a hype train. No matter what anybody has to say about it, he's a hype train. If he gets through this fight, when they put him up in that top 10, he's going to get smashed. Mark my words on that. He's going to get smashed eventually. But if they slow build him, he's got a lot better shot. But being big, tall and skinny, good striker is not going to cut it. It's not. He throws up submission off his back. But we'll see. This is a setup fight for him. But I'm still not sold. So Quinonez is the pick. and not mad if anybody takes a shot. I think it's going to go up, though, to be honest. I think people are going to continue to put O'Malley in their parlay, so I don't even think you need to hit it right now. I think the time to hit it would be right close to the fight. But it's definitely off. Next up, we got Mark Madsen and Austin Hubbard. I have Madsen paired up with Izzy on this one. Now, I'll be honest, it was at plus money. And, Adesanya has gone down a bit. I think it's more parlay money. I don't think anybody's taking a huge shot on him. I don't count out Romero. So what I'll do is if Madsen comes through, I'll put the hedge down with Yoel Romero at 3.4. I mean, that is off, no doubt. So, like I said, if that first leg comes through, I'll put the hedge down. I do have enough respect for Romero. But that is the second play as far as bets go. And then there is one more. So I'll talk about that as well. But we'll keep going through the card. So I have Madsen there. I'm going to say by TKO. That would be by ground and pound. After he gets a takedown. He's a wrestler. I feel like he'll be able to get that takedown. Austin Hubbard started out at 5-1. So if you have a bet on those odds or at those odds, really good bet. Next up, we got Rodolfo Vieira against Sapper Safarov. Line's way off here as well. If you want to throw $5 on a couple of these, by all means. But I do think Vieira should be able to get it done by submission. I don't understand the line, though. He hasn't done enough to warrant that at all. But a jiu-jitsu whiz, right? He should be able to get it done regardless because he is a big, strong guy. He is going up in weight, so, he probably would gas pretty quick with the muscle that he has. So I would say it should get done within the first round. Or if you have a bet, at these crazy odds with Vieira, I would start to worry, because these odds are really crazy. But I'm going to go with Vieira by submission. Definitely don't put him in any parlays or have anything to do with that at all. Next up, we got Alex Oliveira and Max Griffin. This is another good fight. I'm going to be taking Max Griffin, though. And I think there's going to be a bet as well. I haven't pulled the trigger yet because I think, Oliveira might go in some more parlays. But I will most likely put a bet down on Griffin. Right now, it's only the parlay with Madsen and Izzy, as well as Pollyanna, but this is another one that I'm looking at as well. Alex Oliveira is a good fighter, no doubt, and he has times where he looks really good. I think Max Griffin, though, might be able to, put a pace on in the early rounds. It'll tire out Oliveira late, and he might be able to even get a TKO. But it is a close fight. I wouldn't be surprised to see Oliveira get it. But I'm going to go with Max Griffin in this one. By TKO, possible bet. Still on the fence. Next, we got Beneil Dariush and Jakar Close. This is one that I have to look at still. This number, I do think it's probably off. So, but I haven't done the tape on this one. There's a couple fights that I haven't, but I wanted to get this out to you guys now, just in case you were interested in any of the other plays that I had. So again, I'll put out an early play video for one of the lines that I'm looking at for the future cards. And I'll put in, the couple fights that I didn't mention in this video, or that I didn't cover or give a winner for in that video. So just look out for that. Worst case, though, by the time the fights roll around, say a couple hours after weigh-ins, I'll probably update the description. Next up, we got Jamal Emmers and Giga Chikadze. This is probably one of the earlier fights in the night. I don't know why they have it laid out like this, but I like Emmers in this one. Chikadze, main reasoning behind that is he can be taken down. He has looked a lot better with his takedown defense as of late, but it's one of those ones. Giga's a really good kickboxer. He could catch him. Could be a TKO scenario here, but I'm going to go with Emmers by decision. It's a good fight. And then we got Neil Magny and Li Jinglang. Another one where I think the line's off a little bit. Not enough that I'm going to bet it, but I am going to go with Magny here. I think another situation where people are getting behind a knockout. They see, some heavy hands and, it's time to jump on the hype train. But not for me. He can knock out Magny, no doubt, right? That might be the idea that the UFC has, but it's not this, lock for me that everybody's, he's going to get his legs chopped down and he's going to get annihilated. I mean, Jingalang's decent, but he's not great. So Magny has been a top 10 guy in the past. Just because of the fact that there's been really no respect for him, I'm going to take him to win here by decision. So next up, we got the co-main event, Weili Zhang and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I'm going to be taking Zhang here. I just get straight to the point. I think Jędrzejczyk, could outpoint her possibly, but I feel like at some point Zhang's going to get the finish. I think she's got power. I think she's going to look to walk her down and catch her with big shots. And, it's possible that Jędrzejczyk can avoid that and get a decision, but I'm going to be taking Zhang by TKO. And then in the main event, we got Israel Adesanya and Yoel Romero. I'm taking Izzy. I mean, Yoel's, they say he's 40. Who knows how old he really is? And he is being underestimated. The line is off. It's one of those bets where there is no value, right? A lot of times when I see a fighter that I do want to bet on where the line's already at a point where I definitely don't want to straight bet it. And this is a little bit of an entertainment bet, I'll be honest. A little bit of a cheat day here because of the fact that I'm interested in these fights. Won't be going big, but, pairing him up with Madsen was the option I was looking at. But again, I mean, Yoel should be probably at 2.5. So it's way off. I just feel like Izzy's going to win. So I can't justify putting the money down on Romero. I think Izzy by third round TKO. So that's about it. The couple fights that I didn't give a winner, so it would be Beneil and Jakar. That's a potential bet. So, on the fence about that, but I'll definitely, make you guys aware of who I picked by the time the fights roll around, or even Friday, right? By the time the weigh-ins are done, I'll have that updated. Just want to see how they look before I put a bet down. I think that's about it. If there's any questions, you guys can let me know in the comments. Let me know who you're betting on as well. And that's about it. Let's get a win here to start off this last stretch here leading up to the first quarter cash out. And, there are some nice lines coming up. This is probably the least of the upcoming, 4 or 5 cards, for the next stretch. So I have an eye out on that and an early play, like I said. So more videos dropping. Look for those. I appreciate you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And I'll see you on the next one.